From the outside, Kandi Burruss appeared to have everything anyone could want. She wasn't just another cast member on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. She was a Grammy-winning songwriter, a successful businesswoman, and a woman who seemed to have built a loving family with her husband, Todd Tucker. To most people, she represented the image of success. She wore stylish clothes, lived in a large home, and enjoyed a career many could only dream of. But what the cameras and magazines didn't show was the deep pain that followed her throughout her life. Behind the laughter and glamorous lifestyle was a woman who had faced more tragedies than most people could ever imagine. Her journey wasn't only about fame, fortune, and television drama. It was about survival, heartbreak, betrayal, and the strength to keep standing. Kandi grew up in a close family in Atlanta, Georgia. From the beginning, she was different. As a little girl, she already had a spark that people noticed. She was creative, determined, and confident. While most kids her age were busy thinking about school dances or doing homework, Kandi was stepping into the music world. At just 15, she joined the R&B group Xscape. Very quickly, success found her. She began recording songs, touring, and discovering how tough the entertainment business could be. Most teens her age couldn't imagine handling that kind of pressure, but Kandi was strong enough to rise to the challenge. Yet, just as her career was beginning, tragedy struck. Her older brother, Patrick Riley, died in a car accident while traveling in Mexico. He was only 22 years old. Kandi was just 15 at the time. For her, the loss was devastating. Patrick wasn't just a sibling. He was her best friend, her protector, and the one who often held their family together during tough times. Losing him felt like having the ground pulled out from under her feet. The day after his death, instead of staying home, Kandi went to school. She walked into class and sat down, as if nothing had happened. It shocked her classmates and teachers. But it wasn't because she didn't care. It was because she didn't know what else to do. Being home in silence would have crushed her spirit, so she forced herself to keep moving forward, even while carrying a pain too heavy for a child her age. Patrick's death left a permanent mark on her. He had been the peacemaker in the family, the one who always brought calm. Later, Kandi would say that if Patrick had lived, Xscape might have lasted longer as a group. His absence didn't just affect her personally, it shaped the path of her entire career. Years later, when she became a mother, she named her daughter Riley in his honor. She wanted his name to live on. She never let his memory fade. On his birthdays, she often shared tributes, reminding the world that he was the best big brother anyone could ask for. Even decades later, she wondered how life would have turned out if Patrick had survived. Would he have guided her through fame? Would he have celebrated her businesses, her children, her music? Those questions never left her heart. Despite all her achievements, she never fully healed from losing Patrick. That heartbreak shaped her view of the world. It taught her how fragile life is and left her with the constant fear of losing loved ones. And as it turned out, Patrick's passing was only the beginning of many painful chapters. After experiencing so much loss early in life, many people would have closed off their hearts. But Kandi didn't give up on love. Instead, she focused on her music career, writing hit after hit for some of the biggest artists in the world. She proved herself as one of the most talented songwriters in the industry. In 2009, she found love again. She got engaged to Ashley A.J. Jewell, an Atlanta businessman. For a while, things seemed to be going well. She had her daughter Riley, her music career, and now a man she truly loved. But just months after their engagement ended, tragedy struck once more. In October 2009, AJ was involved in a violent fight outside a nightclub in Atlanta. He was struck in the head during the altercation and later died from his injuries. News of his death spread quickly, but for Kandi, it wasn't just a headline. It was another nightmare. She had spoken to AJ just one day before he died. Even though their engagement had ended, they still shared a strong connection. Later, she wrote about him, describing him as a good man with a kind soul who had so many dreams he never got to fulfill. His death was even more painful because AJ had 6 children from previous relationships. Candy had grown close to them, and now they were left without a father. The grief spread across an entire family, and she carried some of that pain with her. As if that wasn't enough, around the same time, Candy also lost her uncle, Ralph Leslie, who had been another source of strength in her life. Within days, she was grieving 2 deaths at once. For anyone, that would have been overwhelming. But once again, Candy forced herself to keep moving forward, for her daughter and for herself. The losses didn't stop there. In December 2018, just 2 days after Christmas, she lost her beloved Aunt Hazel. Holidays are supposed to bring joy, but for Candy, they became reminders of absence. Instead of celebration, there was sorrow. Each time tragedy came, Candy chose to rise instead of fall. But even the strongest hearts carry scars. Her story was proof that success and money don't protect anyone from pain. Candy's story is a reminder of how public images can hide private suffering. People saw the glamorous side of her life, the TV show, the businesses, the music, but they didn't see the tears she cried in silence or the losses that shaped her. This pattern of women carrying silent pain isn't unique to Candy. Another woman in the public eye, Melody Sheree, has faced similar struggles, though hers have played out more publicly because of the messy and toxic relationship with her ex-husband, Martell Holt. Like Candy, Melody appeared to be doing well, managing her business, raising her children, and trying to move on. But beneath that surface was a story of harassment, manipulation, and betrayal that kept pulling her back into chaos. Martell Holt may have believed that the internet would defend him, but he was wrong. When blogger Tasha K shared a video of Melody going live and speaking about the harassment she was experiencing, everything changed. This wasn't a woman crying over a breakup. This wasn't just another reality show argument. Melody was speaking about actual threats, real fear, and a situation where her safety and peace of mind were being tested. When Tasha K reposted the live video, social media exploded. Some people supported Melody, rallying behind her like warriors. "We hear you, sis," many wrote. But others cruelly dismissed her. They called her bitter or claimed she was just looking for attention or money. Imagine going live to share your fears, only to be told you're making it up for business. That's the level of victim blaming Melody faced. Her makeup artist, Jay Taylor, even had to step in and defend her. He explained how many women stay silent in similar situations because of fear of judgment, criticism, and gaslighting. His support highlighted how important it is for women to have someone willing to speak up for them. Meanwhile, Martell didn't help himself. Instead of taking responsibility, he allegedly laughed it off. He even claimed Melody was only speaking out to sell more products. Then he pointed out that he had only received a $300 fine and no jail time, as if that somehow proved his innocence. That response only showed how little he understood the seriousness of the situation. Things escalated further in court. Melody showed up dressed professionally, carrying herself with grace. In contrast, Martell's mistress, Ariane Curry, arrived looking more like she was headed to a party than a courtroom. But instead of criticizing Ariane, many people online mocked Melody for being too dramatic. That double standard was glaring. One of the most tense moments happened inside an elevator. Melody, Martell, Ariane, and security ended up face to face. The atmosphere was so thick, you could almost cut it with a knife. Even in that moment, Ariane reportedly made fun of Melody, taunting her about Martell. It was yet another reminder of how toxic the situation had become. Despite everything, people often tried to paint Melody as the villain, claiming she couldn't let go of the past. But the truth was clear. Martell was the one who kept showing up uninvited, texting, mocking, and stirring up trouble. Melody was focused on her children, her businesses, and her peace, yet she was the one constantly dragged back into drama. The issue didn't stop with Martell. Fans began to question the role of Carlos King, the creator and producer of Love and Marriage Huntsville. If Melody had been reaching out for help, why hadn't the production team done more to protect her? She had reportedly asked for support when she felt unsafe, but no one showed up. Instead, the cameras kept rolling. That raised questions about whether ratings had been valued more than her safety. Other cast members also played a role. Letitia Scott and Marsaw Scott often made sly remarks about Melody, pretending they were neutral while sometimes making fun of her struggles. Miss Wanda, on the other hand, switched sides constantly, defending Melody one day and mocking her the next. All of this created an environment where Melody seemed to be standing alone. Remaining neutral in situations where someone's safety is at risk isn't real neutrality. It's silence disguised as maturity. And that silence allowed Martell to keep acting recklessly without accountability. Both Kandi and Melody's stories reveal something important. Fame doesn't erase pain. Success doesn't protect women from loss, betrayal, or mistreatment. And too often, women's voices are doubted, ignored, or criticized when they finally speak their truth. Kandi faced unbearable losses, yet kept building her career and family. Melody faced harassment and public judgment, yet refused to let herself be broken. Both women showed resilience in the face of pain that could have destroyed them. Their stories remind us that what we see on TV or social media is only a small piece of the truth. Behind every glamorous photo, there may be scars we can't see. And perhaps the most important lesson is this: women like Kandi and Melody should never have to carry their struggles alone. Their strength is inspiring, but accountability, support, and compassion from others are just as necessary if change is ever going to happen. Kandi and Melody's stories prove that behind fame and glamour are real women battling heartbreak, betrayal, and judgment. Their strength is a reminder that survival is power. If you felt this story, like, share, and subscribe, because their truth deserves to be heard louder than the lies.